How are they in a final?
We are live. We are live. We are live. See, they're cheering because we're live. That's how it goes down here. How are you guys doing? It's Adam McCullough here. It is Stephen Allison to my left, and we're here to talk Romelu Lukaku, Wayne Rooney. Romelu Lukaku was arrested apparently last night. We'll clear that up as well. Talk about Wayne Rooney, who's currently on Merseyside, back in his hometown, ready to do his medical. And firstly, how do you look? On a simple face of things, it's Lukaku in, Rooney out. When I tell you that, how do you feel?
Just going completely what them players are going to offer us next season, I think United have done unbelievable work. We have played an absolute blinder. We have levelled up in what we've got.
Can you hold that so I can have a drink?
I can hold that. We've completely levelled up, and I'm really excited. When there was talk of Morata, Perisic, Fabinho, Matic, Lindelof even, those players don't really get the blood flowing, I don't think. Now, they might be the players that Jose Mourinho needs. They might be the players that come in and actually add points to what we do and get us up that table. But sometimes, as a fan, we like them big names, don't we? We like players that we like. And I know you have as well, the both of us have liked Lukaku for
both did a video
a long time.
On one of the biggest channels in the country, BBC, and we said we want Romelu Lukaku. Now, this was last summer.
Last season, yeah.
When we signed Zlatan. So we were ahead of the wave.
Yeah.
We wanted him before Zlatan. But now we are actually getting him. And it did seem to obviously go quiet, and it looked like he was going to Chelsea. So we all kind of thought, all right, let's just stop talking about Lukaku because it's not happening. To see it come out of the blue like this, do you think this has always been, obviously we don't know for sure, but do you feel, does this feel like it's always been United's plan to get Lukaku rather than Morata? Have we used Real Madrid, done them over a little bit, left them with a player that they maybe want to sell?
I don't think so, no. I know a lot of you guys are going to talk about, like, last year when I saw Lukaku and Pogba at the Lowry when it was being signed, and I spoke to them, and I said, oh, I hope you're next. I don't think it's been on since then. I think that maybe it might have been discussed then, but I don't think it's been on since then. I definitely didn't call it then, not a year ago, because I was shocked. I actually have been saying it, and I'm sure there's videos that you can find on here. I think that we've even been linked to him while we've been doing transfer review this season, and I've said, I just in my heart of heart, when he's been linked, I feel like he's going Chelsea. And maybe that was because the press didn't have the angle on it that United was even talking to him. United have absolutely blindsided Chelsea. Maybe using the fact that we was going for Morata. But I think we went bidding for Morata earnestly. I actually think we went discussing with Morata with the intention
Could
to
the
sign
club
him.
have been like the fans and thought, Lukaku's going Chelsea? Let's have a look elsewhere.
We've been talking for the whole summer that there's probably been two lists, and I think there's probably been multiple players for multiple positions. I think if you look back, Ed Woodward, right, as whatever you want to think of him, he's going to be a smart man. You don't get to the position that he had at JP Morgan without being a smart man to be in the position to negotiate the $1 billion
But is he a
deal.
football man?
No, but
does he have to be a football
Just
man?
listen to what I'm saying. He's not a football man, no, and I think you do have to be a football man. But from a pure business perspective, that first window that Ed Woodward was CEO for, he cocked it up. In my eyes, he didn't get the deals done that the manager wanted. Now, some of it might have been the manager that was differing. Some of it might have been the manager unable to identify targets that he wanted quick enough. But for me, it seemed like Ed Woodward failed in that window. Now, if you fast forward, Ed Woodward's got better in each window. And if you look at the season when he brought in Herrera and all them lot, he did well. He got them done with minimal of fuss. Jose's first summer, I think we might have got our first choice in all those positions. And the signings that we got were absolutely banging. Now, this is his second window. We signed Lindelof with what appears to be minimal of fuss. And from the outside looking in, it looks like Keane was maybe the B choice. We got our A choice, we dropped the B choice. The B choice goes elsewhere. It looks like because these aren't telling people what their targets are. I think we was definitely negotiating with Morata to bring him in. And then when we got the word that Lukaku was all but done, we pulled the plug on Morata. Now, maybe all those people that was flipping out and talking about why Manchester United haven't been getting deals done, maybe we was waiting for our first choices, and maybe there was a bit of an acceleration in the second choices, and we just sort of had to put them on.
Because the talk in Spain at the moment is that Real Madrid, Morata haven't heard anything from United in a week, which kind of coincides with Lukaku.
Can I say as well, actually, I said that I'd heard prior to going on our Tomorrow's Transfers Today on Thursday night, I got a text at 11:15 saying Morata Wednesday it was actually, Morata done by weekend. Now the source of all that, the chain that goes up to is Morata himself. So he's telling players at Manchester United, I'm coming this weekend. So when the reports came out the day after, like Morata hasn't a clue what's going on, I think that was right, and I think what I got told was correct at the time. He didn't know he was You're not going to go as Ed Woodward, are you, and go, Morata, listen, if we don't get Lukaku, you're our man. You're not going to go in like that. You're going to go in. You're going to sell him the dream. You're going to give him, you're going to sell him the dream that he's the one that you wanted all along. Manchester United, I think this transfer window have been ruthless, and you know what? I like that.
And you know what? In 2 transfer windows, we've stuck 2 fingers up at Real Madrid. A team that I'm not going to say have taken the mick out of us in the transfer windows, because they don't. People talk about like Real Madrid steal all our players. They don't. The only one they took off us that we didn't want was didn't want them to take was Cristiano Ronaldo. Everybody else we sold to Real Madrid was because we wanted to sell them. I'm going to read some comments. We're going to get some opinions from Andy on Lukaku as well. Okay. Andy's not around at the moment, so we'll maybe get him a little bit later on today. We're going to get some opinions on Rooney as well to Everton, as he's been pictured on Merseyside, where he's about to take his medical. So that's the situation at the moment. Now, Wayne Rooney, what are your final words? And this is the last time you'll ever get to talk about Wayne Rooney, unless we do your greatest United 11 of all time.
We're clearly going to be talking about him when we play Everton in the preview, so that's a lie.
Yeah, but you're not invited to next season's previews. That's what you didn't know.
That's a lie. I think Wayne Rooney has been an unbelievable footballer for Manchester United over the course of his career, but unfortunately, he's now no longer at the standard required to be a first-choice player. I think I said it in the season review, I'd have been quite happy for Wayne Rooney to be a part of the squad, because I think we've bled out so much experience recently. And Wayne Rooney's obviously not someone just with experience. He's the record goal scorer at the club. He's a guy that's been there through Champions League wins, through FA Cup wins, through title wins. And that experience is pretty thin on the ground. Now, once Rooney goes, you're looking at Michael Carrick and Antonio Valencia being the only players over 30. If you look at the rest of the squad, David De Gea, Young, the 2 centre-halves are 23 and 24. If it's Shaw at left-back, he's 22. The 2 midfielders, Pogba and Herrera, nowhere near the 30s. Mata, nowhere near his 30s. Mkhitaryan, not old. Lukaku up front, not old. And then potentially Rashford or Lingard on the left-hand side. These are players that are not old. These are players that have not got a lot of experience. So if Wayne Rooney goes, his experience is probably going to be missed next year, but his ability as a player will not really be missed, I don't think, next year. And I think we've replaced him fantastically in Lukaku. But I still think we need another forward to replace Zlatan. Andy, Rooney.
On that note, I think Lukaku replaces Zlatan perfectly well. But yeah, carry on, Andy.
Rooney, like I say, Wayne Rooney, absolute club legend. 50-50, split the fans down the middle. Never forget what he's done in the red shirt, but you never forget what he did against United. But this is the level we are now. He wanted marquee signings after he signed his contract. And now we've got some egos in the dressing room. Wayne Rooney can't exactly stand up to the mantle. That's why he's been dropped. Mourinho gave him his chance last season. Couldn't do it, couldn't take it. So good luck to you, Wayne. You've been an absolute incredible servant. And if you want to play for England, you'll get first team football at Everton. And hopefully you'll have a good season and have a good World Cup.
Let me read some comments before I come back to Andy. Rooney is a legend, says Seish. Nigel says subtitles, please. Nigel, are you taking the mick out of my accent? Or are you just being racist? What's the situation here, mate? Can you just let me know? Show us techers, boys. You want me to show you techers? I'm not allowed to get my willy out at this time. Lukaku to be in court 2nd of October in America, someone says. Now, what I heard was on TMZ that there was a disturbing the peace call to the police yesterday in LA, in Beverly Hills, when Romelu Lukaku was celebrating his move to Manchester United.
Hello, LAPD. LAPD, hello.
with a big F-off party with Paul Bill Pogba and the rest of them. And the police were called. Now, if anyone really thinks anything's going to happen to Romelu Lukaku over this, then you need to get a grip of yourself. So I'm not even using time to talk about this. Does anyone want to talk about it?
No, it's just something out of nothing. Papers might want to take it and drag it out, but...
TMZ are as trashy as the Sun as well.
Yeah, something out of nothing.
If you've never been arrested, you've never partied.
We all love to party.
Have you ever partied at the Emirates? Can you imagine if Everton finish above us? What I was going to ask is, remember, because I feel Wayne Rooney has had so much longevity in the game that he's aged quicker than most of the people. So he's not really his age, he's older than he is. But
he's got more games under his belt now than when Paul Scholes was
higher mileage.
Yeah.
So do you think that Wayne Rooney could possibly not roll back the years to how great he was in his teens and in his early 20s. But could he be a player that scores 15 to 20 goals in the Premier League next season for Everton? Because he's going back to a place where his heart is, where it's a new challenge, where he's going to have loads of youngsters around him. Ronald Koeman will make him a focal point of the team, but also put legs around him. Whereas Jose Mourinho, I think Jose Mourinho managed his exit fantastically well, respectfully to the player, but he also didn't used to play him, and he didn't play him to his strengths, and he didn't put him in the team at all costs, unlike...
There's a statistic which I think has got like 100% certainty, and that's once they get over 30 years of age, strikers generally deteriorate. And I don't think anyone has ever...
Unless she's Zlatan.
Turned that. Well, Zlatan's still stayed at the top. He's not dropped and then come back, has he? And I think Wayne Rooney, as we said, with the miles on the clock, he's not a 31-year-old. You've got to remember that this guy, most players break into the first team around 20, 21, 22. And that gives them a career then, if they're lucky, till they're 34 and 35. So you're looking at a career of like 13 and 14 years. Well, that's where Wayne Rooney's at now. In fact, he's more than that. He's looking at 15, 16 years. So Wayne Rooney is past the retirement age for most footballers. So, one, I don't think he's looked after himself anyway. There's loads of talk about him smoking, about him drinking and all that sort of stuff. He's not done what Giggs did to elongate his career. But do you know what? I don't want to talk about the negative side of stuff now, because he has gone more or less.
We don't need to remember that now, do we?
No, let's just think about how great Wayne Rooney was for us, because at his time, he was a shade under being one of the best players in the world, an absolute force of nature. And when Jadon was like 2 and 3, mate, that's who I would tell. Watch Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney never gives up. If you've got that sort of heart that Wayne Rooney used to display, you go a long way in the game. And that's the Wayne Rooney I'll remember.
Andy, how you feeling? Rooney, you feel a tinge of sadness? Or like me, are you upset that we have to let Wayne Rooney go and be relieved about it?
We have to move on. We have to move on with this. It's the last of the generation. We've got to move on. And it is sad to go, but the game's changed. It's more fast. It's more pace. It's fresh energy youngsters. And yeah, we just got to move on. And good luck to you, Wayne.
I think we've replaced Zlatan fantastically well, and Wayne Rooney leaving's the right decision. For now, though, guys, we're going to get out of here. We've had a great day here. It's been the Fan League Cup. We can't tell you what went down. No, we can't tell you what went down. But we're here. Anyway, guys, Howson.
We'll see you later. We'll see you on Monday for the transfer review.